Good evening. I'm Chanel, Vehicle Title Expert. Thank y'all so much for tuning in, and thank you in advance for subscribing. Tonight, I will be talking about auto title alterations. I will cover some of the alterations that are out there when it pertains to your auto title and supporting documentation. And I will talk to y'all about how you can avoid getting in these type of situations and, avoid DMV rejection. So let me just start off by saying, what is an auto title alteration? So when you have this title here, any title for that matter, auto title has a reference point pertaining to void if altered. So if you make any changes to that auto title, any cover up, any hidden data, any damage to the title, essentially that title is being altered. That is what DMV regards as an alteration to that title or supporting documentation. Okay, so you really want to be careful when you have your title or your certificate of origin and supporting documentation, whether the alteration is minor, in between or large, it doesn't matter. It will still be regarded as problematic in the eyes of DMV. So, what are a few, types of auto title alterations out there? Number one, and I'm going to park at this one for a moment, is going to be that ink pen. Okay, this pen here is very problematic when it comes to your auto title and supporting documentation. This ink pen right here, I want you guys to really think about that. So a lot of times I see, and I see it often, is folks have ink pens that ran out of ink, dried out, whatever. And in the midst of writing out that information on your title or supporting documentation, you know, the information becomes very faint. So what some of you do, you get a pen and you write over it. You try to make it more darker, more legible for DMV because you left off at a faint spot. So you're hoping to make it a little bit darker and clear. That's a no-no. I understand the purpose of why you're doing that, but stop trying to write over that faint spot that you left off with your ink pen, because in DMV's eyes, it's going to be an alteration. This is a very big problem when it comes to title alterations. Some of you will even, scribble over that mistake with your ink pen. Don't do that as well. Okay, so that pen, again, can be very problematic. My recommendation is please test your ink pen before you start to complete out your title or supporting documentation with the title or MCO. Test your ink pen first, okay? Because if you run out of ink and then you try to finish it with another pen, you will have an issue. DMV will believe that you're trying to conceal something. And sometimes what happens is when you have a faint line, the information just, stop due to the pen, and you try to write over it, it appears that there's information behind the darker ink, and DMV looks at it as you're trying to hide data, or maybe, someone else did it, and you got a title from someone else, and you're trying to, put your name over what DMV may believe was their name. So it just looks very, very funny in their eyes. Another type of alteration is correction tape. Stay away from correction tape. Okay, stay away from correction tape. Again, if you make mistakes on the title, certificate of origin, or supporting documents, you do not want to use that. Another thing is using tape, Scotch tape or what have you. If your title or supporting documentation has a tear, sometimes you can get away with that depending on where the tear is at. If there's a tear on your title, as long as that tear is not, interrupting the vehicle data like the year, the make, the model, and the VIN, any lien holder information, any owner's information, things of that nature. Sometimes you might be able to get away with that tear being there. Okay. But if there's a tear in your title and it's interrupting the data of the title, then unfortunately, a lot of times you will have to get a duplicate. But do not take it upon yourself and put tape on that title or supporting documentation, thinking that you're going to be helping the situation, because you won't. You're going to actually make the situation worse. Okay, so these are the alterations that you really want to stay away from. Do not alter your title. Do not alter the supporting documentation. It doesn't matter, again, whether it's minor, in between, or large. Stay away from that. So what can you do, in these areas so that you will not get rejected by the DMV? Let me just start off by saying, when it comes to that ink pen, if you make a mistake, you can submit a statement of correction to the DMV and advise them of the mistake that you made. Okay. And, a lot of times you can, get by with that. But if your mistake is very severe, there's a lot of scribbling on that title, you take that ink pen and you just, make the ink very large, and the information very dark, as if you're just writing over constantly with that pen. DMV is going to most likely cause your title to be voided out, and you will have to get a replacement. Okay, so take your time, test that ink pen before you use it for your title work, because you do not want any problems. If you guys have any feedback you want to share pertaining to title alterations, or maybe you found yourself in a situation pertaining to your title being altered, maybe you got rejected from the DMV due to this type of situation, I want to hear from you. Please drop me a line below. Check me out on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Please click share and subscribe. I hope to hear from you soon. Thank you.